Okay, so this is my favorite part on the AO scanner. Well, one of them because there's so many, but this is the part that of the program, one of the programs that I use the most. And I probably use this 3 times a day, sometimes twice a day. Um, but it's very cool because I find that when I do this, it's, part of my big healing that I, have been doing, and especially over the last year and a half, um, has been learning to take that time for myself, right? Learning to take that, whether it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes, like throughout the day, because I wasn't doing that before. And so, you can get really busy, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a mother, as a wife, you name it, you're doing a lot of things. And so it's very easy for us to put everybody else's stuff before our own and don't do what I did and learn things the hard way because it can be a great detriment to your health. And that's what happened to me. And so there was so many things that were out of balance with me that I became really sick from it. So, neurological stuff, adrenal stuff, migraines, vestibular migraines, vertigo, dizziness, weakness, so much stuff that I had to heal. And, looking back, everything is hindsight. But if I would have been doing things differently, and one of them being taking time for myself and making that time for myself, I obviously wouldn't have to be healing as much stuff. So I want to share this with you guys in this video. This is about using the AO scanner, but using the Easy Scan. And so, just in the wording of it, so the Easy Scan, obviously, it is easy. It makes things easy. So I'm going to share that with you guys and show you. So here is the part where when you go into your AO scanner, this is all the programs that come up available to you. So I'm showing you on the computer. That's what it looks like. But I use it on my phone all the time because I have my phone everywhere. I'm not always try not to always be on my computer or my phone, but this is where you can go into it. So right here in Easy Scan, we click on Easy Scan. This is, I'm telling you, is it goes through and to me, it takes the best parts of all of the programs in the AO scanner and allows you to be able to um, find out what's going on in your body, find out what's going on in your emotions, find out what the causes could be. And then it also sends the balancing frequencies as well. So this is really, really cool. So you can see here, and I'll just move this a little bit so you can see, but it shows the very first part is the inner voice scan. So if you looked at the other videos, there is a video on inner voice scan. You can do it just on its own. But what this is going to do is it's going to allow me to record 10 seconds of talking. And so I'm going to start off with saying I am, because this is me connecting with the AO scan technology so that it can go in and it can read my frequencies and get an energetic snapshot of where I am in this moment. And so again, when we go in there, your harmonics in your voice, the tones in your voice can tell a lot about where you are energetically, physically, emotionally, spiritually, so much. And so the scanner is going to go through, it's going to run your frequencies through a database, and then it will show you all of the frequencies that are out of alignment. And then in step two, what it's going to do is it's going to do the vitals scan. So again, that's where it's going to go through and scan things like our chakras, our meridians, our blood systems, our endocrine systems, the vitamins, everything you'll see in here. And then step three, it goes and does the comprehensive scan and optimize. And so the comprehensive scan goes more into our body systems. And the cool part is you see that optimize, right? So not only does it go in and do the scan, if you've ever had bioresonance done before, right? You get the scan, it brings a report, it shows you. But here with the AO scanner, it goes in and it sends you the balancing frequencies. So I find doing this, just doing the easy scan, and I try and do it, I do it in the morning, absolutely. Sometimes midday I miss if my days get busy. But sometimes like like later in the afternoon, I will be like, oh, okay, I'm sitting for 10 minutes. I'm going to do my AO scanner and then I'll run the easy scan. And then my evening, and I do it just before I like wind down, before I am like, okay, so I've had a long day. Let's see where my body is. Let's see what kind of support my body needs. And this then shows again, in the other videos, you'll see that, but it shows all of my supplements. So all my supplements are all uploaded into the library and it will show me, and this removes so much guesswork because it will show me what supplements, herbs, remedies, whatever it is I'm taking, it will show me what my body needs the most in that moment to bring it into balance, into homeostasis, which is so, so cool. So in here, I can be very, I can choose midday, and this will just come up based on the time of the day, but I can add the morning or the evening and show them all, or I can just look at one. And so what I do is then I just click the start the scan. I'm going to talk for 10 seconds to create that recording. I am Jody Jones and I live in Shelburne, Ontario. Today is Sunday and the sky was blue outside and there was some wind. And it doesn't matter what you say, you're just giving the vibrational imprint of your voice. Now, remember, you can play around with this a bit because you can sound really positive. You can, change your tone, or if you're feeling unpositive, you can be completely honest with the AO scanner and just talk the way you feel. And it's really interesting because it will give you honest feedback on where you are vibrationally. So see now it's running through these, it's going through all of my systems right now using the inner voice scan. Then it's going to go through the vital scan and optimize. Then it'll do the comprehensive scan and optimize as well. You see how quick it is? It's pretty quick, right? It'll go through all of these really, really quick. And then what I can do is I can then go and I can look at the report. So once it's done running that scan, get this out of the way, then you can see it is going to pull up a report. So this is what it'll look like once it's done. And so you can see how this in the easy scan, it really, to me, it has the best of all of the programs. And so it has the inner voice report, right? So again, this is where, and I can click on this little button, this gives me my pulse information. So again, it'll tell me, right? Like, so if it's high, it's telling me, oh, I've got a lot of energy flowing through. My frequencies are high, they're up higher, right? So that's why the hertz are showing up higher. My pulse gives me tons of information about that. Remember, when you go to the hospital or you go to the doctor and they check your blood pressure and your pulse, they do it for a reason because it gives us great indication into what our body is doing. Now, from a traditional Chinese medicine perspective, uh, the pulse, we read the pulse in Chinese medicine. And so the pulse can tell us the energy of the organs. It can tell us the energy of the qi in the body. So whether there's strength in the body or there's weakness in the body, it tells us so, so much. So if I would look at this, if I see my pulse, being higher like that, right? There's a lot of energy going through that. So now if that high feels uncomfortable to me, I know that I need things to do, things to slow down, to relax that, right? Now here in this, it's going to play you the balancing harmonics based on the information that came through with your inner voice, which is so cool. Now you can go in and you can customize the way this sounds however you want. I usually leave it the way that it comes up. But if you don't like to hear the music more, you can go in and change so that you hear the tones, the frequencies more. Again, when this comes up, it comes up and intuitively sets the settings, which is whatever is best for you in that moment. But you can go in and change it. So sometimes, for example, if say this was coming up and I saw my pulse was a little bit high on there and I'm feeling a little bit, too busy or a little scrambly, I might go in there and change the music that's going to play to say Zen meditation. because then it's just a quieter, more calm, more relaxed. And depending on the time that you have, so if I'm quick and busy, and this is why it's called Easy Scan, I might just play it for 5 minutes. So what I do is I will just take this 5 minutes for myself. I'll close my eyes, I'll click on the 5 minutes, I'll hit the play, and I'll just take that 5 minutes to allow my body to receive these balancing harmonics, receive the balancing frequencies, and kind of like reset, just kind of use it as a bit of a reset. And so I can just hit play, and then you can see that it starts to play. And so you can hear the music is playing, but the tones are playing in the background. If you want to hear the tones more, then you just increase the tones and lower the music. It's entirely up to you, whatever, however you like it the most. And if you have 10 minutes to do it, then great, do 10 minutes. And if you want to just continuously play it for a while, because say you're going to be doing something and you just want it playing in the background, then you can do that as well. Now, this section here is the light wave optical glasses, and this is again about which tones came through when you did the inner voice, and Solex actually sells the glasses. I don't use this part, but I can't give you whether I think it's great or not. I know a lot of people do use it, but it's another option for you. Like there's so many options. This also I love because this is the quick scan audio. So this was just on again the inner voice. It was in that 10-second, and it's a little snippet of music that is sending you balancing frequencies or harmonics to your body. And it's neat because sometimes it'll be something like this, which is like really upbeat and moving. And then sometimes it will be something that is quiet, or it'll be water, or depending on wherever you are energetically in that moment, that's what that quick scan audio is going to play for you. So here is, remember, so we're in the easy scan. And so what it does is it went in there and it picked the top supplements for me in this moment. So these are coming through in my library. So I've added all of these in there, and it's really super easy to do, and I can show you how to do that. There's also videos on the Solex website that show you how to do it as well. And so this is saying to me, this is what my body needs in this moment. These are the supplements that are coming up the strongest. Here's a really cool thing, because remember when we talk about the Cepheid imprinter, there's a homeopathic that's coming up for me here that my body is saying. So this is the Sleep Easy. And because I don't have that homeopathic, I'm not going to have 1,000 homeopathics. I can literally imprint my water with this. So that's what I do, is I imprint the homeopathics into my water, into my glass of water, and then I drink it. And so again, if I was on my phone, I would just put my glass sitting on my phone, and by hitting this button, you can see it will then send that frequency to my water, and then I can drink my water, and then I'm taking the vibrational frequencies for the Sleep Easy. And the Sleep Easy, you can find it in when you're creating the playlist, because it is a bunch of different homeopathic remedies, which is very, very cool. Now here we get in the quick scan, we get the vitals report. So this is just going to give us the top things that are coming through. And so to me, I love this because again, it allows me just to go into the moment of what's coming up, and then allows me to decide what I need to do to balance it. Now, here is the legend up here that just shows you what all of the numbers and the colors mean. When I'm looking at these, I'm just looking for the reds. I'm looking for the ones and the nines. And so you'll see on here, it shows you the information for the current scan, and then that'll be your in range and your out range. So again, these because we're in the easy scan, it's just going to show me the stuff that did not balance or that's not balancing. And so then it'll just give me an idea of where I am energetically there right now. So food sensitivities, right? So these are things that I have to be aware of. things that my body is not necessarily needing right now. So pay attention to that. This is what's coming up with my blood. Your again, it's remember there's the entire and the comprehensive. All of this is in great detail, but in this, we're just getting the frequencies that did not go into the systems that did not go into balance. Now, the chakras, I use this a lot too, because again, it'll show you, again, this is the current and this was the previous. So the previous shows before we did the scan and the optimization, that's what they were. And then after the optimization. Again, I will go in there and then I will send the balancing frequency. So here I would go in and I would send my sacral chakra, the balancing frequencies, so that that can come into balance. I probably wouldn't do in my throat here, but if I had time, I would. I would go and play the 2 minutes balancing of the throat chakra frequencies. And so that's easy to find because what we would do is we would just go out of here, go back to our main um, legend there, go into the Cephi, there's the chakra button. Then, so if I went to my sacral chakra because I was out of balance, and I could play the frequencies for 2 minutes to that. And I could sit there and I could listen to it for 2 minutes and use it as an opportunity to kind of just connect with myself, to send some healing to myself. Or if I'm busy, I can just let it run in the background and I don't have to listen to it. I don't have to hear it. That's a really cool thing about it because I can also be running these scans and frequencies for clients. And so they can be anywhere in the world. And because I have them in the target, it's going to the technology is sending them, locating them, and then sending the frequencies to them, which is so cool. It's literally like when I create the target in the Cephi, it's like I put in their phone number, and then when I run the program, it's like it's dialing to them, it's connecting to them. So, which is very, very cool. There's tons of information here about your chakra. So you can see in the descriptions, it will tell you what could be going on, why that chakra is coming out of balance, what's showing up physically. The meridians come up here again. So the meridians are going to show you all of the what's in balance, what's out of balance, what's high in energy, what's normal, what's low in energy. And so for me on here, you can see in this particular scan, my bladder has come, the bladder meridian. And so cool because look at it shows you, this is traditional Chinese medicine. And so, I was a registered acupuncturist and practiced TCM for about 15 years with many, many clients. And so I absolutely love the information this gives us because these are pathways of energy. The meridians are pathways of energy that flow through the body. And everywhere the path flows through, you can see all the organs, it affects the health of the organs in the body. So it can tell us tons of information. So, for example, the bladder meridian, my bladder meridian, the energy, the flow in that particular meridian right now is coming up low. So what I can do is I can go in there and I can look. So here's the bladder meridian, the information, which happens to be the longest meridian on the body. There's the physical information. So these are things that could be the reason why my bladder meridian is off, right? So bladder and all of pelvis, including reproductive organs, lower donation, eye, sinus, bladder infection, spinal problems, sciatic, headaches, and then the emotional link. So at war with the world, chaotic life, hating partner or job, restlessness, impatience, frustration, fright, and I can look at those and I can have the awareness of, okay, yeah, well, okay, so my low back has been hurting me. So that's probably why that's coming in there. Frustration. Yes, I've been feeling some impatience and frustration. So it's affecting the flow in that particular meridian in my body. And then what we do then is we can go in and we can send the balancing frequencies to this. So just as an example, and I'll show you. So say it was the bladder. We go back into the Cephi, and then this is where that custom playlist comes in, which is so cool. And I have created a playlist for the bladder meridian. And so in there, these are all of the balancing frequencies that will help to bring my bladder meridian back into alignment. And so you see all the things that because this is the longest meridian in the body, look at how many different things it can cover, right? Bladder infections, eyes, headache, sciatic, pelvic, ovary, cerebral spinal problems, and then emotional stuff, inner peace, love, confidence, self-esteem, energy. You see all how cool that is? And then I can play that for 2 minutes. And so if it was just coming up um, the way that was, I would probably just play that for 2 minutes. But if I felt that I needed more work, I could hit the continuous broadcast button and I can just let it play for as long as I want to let it play, which is so cool. And you will notice, and if you're energetically sensitive, you will notice as soon as I start sending the frequencies to myself, to the balancing frequencies to myself, I literally start to feel a difference. Like I can start to feel it can be physical or it can be emotional, but I've used this the scanner for when I've had migraines or when I've been feeling dizzy or when I have had the low back pain or you name it, I've used it. And when you're playing the frequencies, you can, like Spirit saying to me, the proof is in the pudding. You play the frequencies and then you feel the change. So you know that it's actually working, which is so cool. So then it goes and gives you more information. This is all of the physiological stuff that's coming up, and then the anatomy of the body. So there's the gastrointestinal again, the nutritional, the physical functionality. And if you were working on something in particular, you would keep track of things that come up over and over for you. So remember, these are just snapshots of how you are in that moment. So you can go in there and you can go, oh, well, let's see, my cardiovascular, this particular brain tissue blood supply status always comes up in cardiovascular. So what is that telling me in my body? So that would be circulation. So I need to improve my circulation. Maybe something's always coming up in my immune system, so my immune system needs support. Maybe my thyroid function, there's specific things that are coming up for thyroid, that's always coming up, so then I can support my thyroid. Now, these are under the toxicities, which is so cool because it's going to tell us some causes. So it could be, the allergies or pollens. It could be bacterias. It could be fungus. It could be heavy metals. It could be molds. It could be parasites. It could be viruses. And it's neat because you can see at any given moment on any given day, these will change in numbers. Sometimes your parasite numbers will be huge. Sometimes there will be any. Sometimes the viruses will be huge. It just depends on where you are energetically. And remember, you have all of these things, all of these frequencies in your body always. And it's just how your balancing frequencies are keeping things in alignment that shows you how when you're feeling well or when you're not feeling well, right? It's a complete total balancing act. You're bringing things into balance. Now, here it gives you the most important things that came up as the comprehensive report, right? And remember, you can go in and you can run a complete comprehensive that will give you everything information. This one is just going to show you what didn't come out of come into balance. And so for me in this one, it was only this particular one. It might be more that comes up for you, and you can get more information from that report based on what comes up for you. And then you can go in and decide what you need to work on, what frequencies you need to heal. And you can also then send yourself the optimizing frequencies, which is so cool. So it's not only just showing you what is out of alignment, but it's going here. Here's what you can send to bring yourself into alignment. And that's so cool because I can tell you firsthand when you're working on something, when you're working on healing something, it can be such a mind game because you're trying to figure things out. What's causing it? How do I fix it? Where do I go? So many questions in there. And the whole AO scanner just kind of brings it all together for you. And I know that it can seem like it's a lot when you first jump in, but you'd be surprised at how quickly you pick up how to use it, intuitively knowing, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that. And the more you use the scanner, the more it creates a database of information about your individual frequencies and how you're harmonizing everything, which is so cool. And remember, in your subscription, you get all the support. You have all of there's the tutorials on the Solex website, back office site as well. You have all that information. And then when you sign up through me on this, you get all of my support with that as well. And I can't wait to start sharing all this information with you and getting you excited with knowing what your body is doing, what your emotions are doing, what your thoughts are doing, what it's all looking at the big picture of everything. It's very, very cool. Can't wait for you to start using it all.